The ayes are 218, the nays are 211, with one answering present. The resolution is adopted.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're having a wonderful day. And we have, and that clip there is you seeing Illahn Omar being removed from the committee. But there's a lot of things that I like to talk about because, they're crying, they're booing, they're making a facade, they're lying, and we're gonna be exposing exactly why, one, Illahn Omar would be removed from the committee, among many other things, and then why, these people are all lying grifters or just outright evil people, because what they're saying doesn't make any bloody sense. Because when you end up saying like things like racism or what have you, you tend to end up contradicting yourself. So, at the very least, we're going to be showing the very first video of them getting booted because it's actually quite hilarious. Here's the first clip.
So desperate to distract the American people from their total inability to govern. The GOP is now doing what it is best at: weaponizing hate against a black, beautiful Muslim woman. Congresswoman Omar's lived experience as a refugee and a child of survivor of war should be welcomed on this committee. It is needed. When you can't pass any bills that actually improve the people's lives, they turn Congress into a place of fear-mongering hate. It is so painful to watch. How ironic that the so-called lovers of personal freedom are now moving to censor Congresswoman Omar in the same week they introduced a bill to ban federal employees from engaging in censorship. Where are the free speech warriors today? The hypocrisy is obvious to the American people. You are showing who you all are, really.
The gentlewoman's time has expired.
Omar will not be silenced.
The gentlewoman's time has expired.
To Congresswoman Omar, I am so sorry,
has expired.
That our country is failing you today through this chamber. You belong.
The gentlewoman is no longer recognized, and the gentleman from Mississippi is recognized.
Even though they told us not to speak to them too. Remember that? Because you have no other option only to be separated from your family, from your children, thrown into overcrowded cages, denied a shower, toothbrush, and yes, Mr. Chairman, drink water out of the toilet if you're thirsty. Mr. Chairman, it needs to be noted into record of orientation. I got my first death threat. It was a serious one. So what happened on January 6th, all I could do was thank Allah that I wasn't here. I felt overwhelming relief, and I feel bad for Alexandria, so many of my colleagues that were here. But as I saw it, I thought to myself, thank God I am not there. I saw the images that they didn't get to see until later. My team and I decided at that point we'd keep the death threats away.
The crying and the moaning and all this nonsense and what have you is just really, really annoying, and it gets on your nerves. The fact that is that you are crying about like all the children and being put in cages, even though that Joe Biden was doing just that literally not too long ago and is probably still doing that as of now. So that's a massive problem, and honestly, it's probably significantly worse because they probably are still in the cages, since so many people coming through, and you guys are being shown as hypocrites. I mean, this is just kind of known. But with this, besides them legitimately crying, being overly emotional over things like this, to the point is where it's completely sad that it's just annoying, right? Like. It's annoying because you shouldn't have emotion come into play. You need to have reasonable thinking, reasonable things that come into play, and not have your emotion govern you. These women are obviously having their emotion govern them over somebody that got kicked out for rightfully the right reasons. And, you know, it's embarrassing, to say the least. At least for that party, for the very most part. Now, we have more issues that we are pertaining to Cordell Bush and the kingpin, I guess you could say, AOC, But they have some even more damning evidence as well, because they're not representing or saying any truthful words at all, and that's what should probably be explained here.
Gentlewoman is recognized for 1 minute.
St. Louis and I rise in support of Congresswoman Illahn Omar. I've been to her district. I've spoken with her constituents. We visited marginalized communities globally together. This institution is better because of her leadership, and the Foreign Affairs Committee benefits from her perspective. So let's talk about what's really happening. Republicans are waging a blatantly Islamophobic and racist attack on Congresswoman Omar. And I've said it before, I will say it again. The white supremacy happening is unbelievable. This is despicable. It is Congresswoman Omar who has been harassed at her job for simply existing as a Muslim woman in Congress. It is she who has been attacked by a member of this body, ridiculing her as a potential terrorist for simply existing as a Muslim woman in this Congress. So rather than bring an actual accountability, any accountability to Congress, they bring this offensive resolution to the floor. This is just a bunch of racist gaslighting. We all know it. Vote no.
The gentlewoman from Pennsylvania reserves. And
It is no accident that members of the Republican Party accused the first black president, Barack Obama, of being a secret Muslim. It is no accident that former President Donald Trump led a birther movement that falsely claimed he was born in Kenya. Because to them, falsely labeling the first and only president of the United States of America a Muslim and African immigrant somehow made him less American. Well, I am Muslim. I am an immigrant, and interestingly, from Africa. Is anyone surprised that I am being
And there you have it, to where, speaking about racism, she was moved because of due of her racism, and, you know, they are completely against Muslims and all that, and that couldn't be farther from the truth. The thing is that what you seem to forget is that, you're a liar, Cori Bush. You went out and attacked Brian Johnson and calling him a Republican prop when he went out and completely denounced that, and you were being racist for it. You saying that it was all about racism, but it really wasn't, and you're the one that was actively being racist towards your own people. And it's hilarious because whenever somebody, a black person, comes into power, this has happened to Larry Elder, and this has also happened to Byron Johnson, the last two Republicans that we know, and even happened to Thomas, to one of our Senate leaders, or what have you, our Supreme Court, to where it happened to him, where he's been calling every racist name in the book. It's only not racism when they're on your side, but when they're not on your side, it is racism. So you guys are the racist one. Cori Bush, I hate to say it, but you're the racist one here and not the Republicans in this instance. Also, another thing as well, Illahn Omar being held that her constituents loved her, that they respected her and stuff like that. No, that seems to not be the case, because if you take a look at this clip here, you'll see that she is not liked by her represents or constituents at all. In fact, she is booed by them.
Don't do this, please. No, please. Okay.
So where are you gonna go with this? You think that you people are all for representation and all that, and the people didn't dislike you or what have you, but that's a lie as well. And then we're gonna finish off with AOC, where she goes out lying about being attacked and all this other stuff and threatened, when that stuff is far from the case. Take a look.
As a fellow New Yorker, I think one of the things that we should talk about here is also one of the disgusting legacies after 9/11 has been the targeting and racism against Muslim Americans throughout the United States of America. And this is an extension of that legacy. Consistency, there is nothing consistent with the Republican Party's continued attack except for the racism and incitement of violence against women of color in this body. I had a member of the Republican caucus threaten my life, and you all and the Republican caucus rewarded him with one of the most prestigious committee assignments in this Congress. Don't tell me this is about consistency. Don't tell me that this is about a condemnation of anti-Semitic remarks when you have a member of the Republican caucus who has talked about Jewish space lasers and an entire amount of tropes and also elevated her to some of the highest committee assignments in this body. This is about targeting women of color in the United States of America. Don't tell me, because I didn't get a single apology when my life was threatened. Thank you.
It's all a bloody lie. And the fact that she's going on, oh, I've been threatened or what have you, well, the clip shows here, or this shows here, that she was talking to one of Gozaz or what have you, peacefully, where it doesn't seem like there was an ending confrontation. It seems a little bit of laughs and a bit of a casual conversation here, and she goes out and lies. These people are liars, guys. They don't actually represent what you think they do. They lie to you consistently, and then they want to rile you up and full of emotion and rage, which mostly ends up affecting females because females are more prone to emotion, and it's just like, it's a lie. These people do not have the Americans' best interests at heart, and the only way they are able to get away with anything at all is because they continuously lie in order to make sure they stay in power, and it's really disgusting, honestly. Well, at least they have been exposed, right? At least they have been shown for the type of people that they are. Each last one of these people, as I have shown here, have not shown any kind of actual generosity or non-racism or some type of hypocrisy or an ability to where they want to make themselves seem innocent when it's not. They lie all the time. They lie about each of their own people, what they truly done to them, and or what has happened to them, and who's on their side. These people are just villains in the making here, and it's once in a while good to laugh at them and their stupidity. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share, as always, take care.